Welcome back to the BeatKonductaz. My name is DJ Olo. This is A Little Louder, the 0808 battle. We've got 8 contestants going up head to head. Our judges today, let me get our judges in here, man. All right, that's what's up. So again, our judges today are Ski Beats, Sean J. Period, Tony Smith of the James Witt Yancey Foundation, and Jay Clyde. We're doing something different today. We got them on Zoom, all right? In round 1, everybody gets to play 3 minutes worth of music. They can play a whole set, they can play a bunch of beats, they can do whatever they want. The highest score in round 1 goes against the lowest score in round 1. In round 3, they're actually gonna go up against some of our previous winners, our annual winners, the top tier guys. And in round 4, the final 2 will go head to head. The producers we got in this battle this week or this month are Complex, Gold Rush, Kelsey, Special Berries, Verse, Coupe de Ville, Soul City, and Soundtrack. All right, so let's do this, man. That was Complex. Up next is Gold Rush. The first one was Complex. Up next is Gold Rush.
This is grade A, 100% pure Colombian cocaine, ladies and gentlemen, disco shit.
With us.
Gold Rush. Up next is Kelsey. For everyone out there, let me just do a quick update here because a lot of people are getting online right now. Once again, my name is DJ Olo. Welcome to the BeatKonductaz. This is the A Little Louder Battle 08-08-2020. We've got 8 producers going head to head. In the first round, they're all playing 3 minutes. And the judges have to score them 1 through 10. All right, so the first producer you saw was Complex. The second producer you saw was Gold Rush. Up next, Kelsey. All right, that was Kelsey. Up next, Special Berries.
Yeah. Check me out. Guess who's back? For show. Yeah. Check me out. Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
All right, that's what's up, man. That was Special Berries. I want to take a quick break in between round one. I want to go back to the judges real quick. So judges, what you got to do for round one, you just heard the first four, right? I'll come back and play the next four, but I just want to know what you think of the first four. I need to get a score 1 through 10. So let's start with, let me just let everyone know again who our judges are, man. We got my man Ski Beats. Peace, Ski. What was your score for Complex?
Oh, Complex, man. I thought he was pretty tight, man. I gave him a 7, you know. I gave him a 7. I wasn't mad at his drum programming. Choices, samples sounded dope. I gave my man Gold Rush a 7 also, man. I was feeling his track. I gave Kelsey a 9, man. You know, his drums are always crazy. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't sample. He played keys, right? Special Berries, I gave Special Berries a 6, man. This shit was tight. I was feeling it.
All right. Sean J. Period. What was your score for Complex?
I gave him a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, Ski said, thought it was tight. The programming, like some of the sound choices, you know, I was like, you know, some were like hit or miss for me. Even Gold Rush, I gave a 6 as well.
All right. And what about Kelsey?
8.
And what about Special Berries?
6. I thought like he had some of the, he said had some of the most the sounds had some of the most potential, but the drums, his drum programming just needs a little bit tighter. Like he came up with this one crazy sound, like okay, he's gonna kill it, and the drums were cool, but we're talking about the actual like the size of the drums, not so much just the sound, but like just bigger drums with it.
Cool. Jay Clyde.
Complex, I thought had decent drums. It was cool, but it was kind of disappointing because there's only one beat. So I had to give him a 5 on that one. Gold Rush, really funky rhythm and bass on the first beat and the second beat. Yeah, second beat still had the heavy drums. And the third beat has some really nice synth patches on it that I liked as well. I gave Gold Rush a 7. Kelsey, I agreed a little bit with Sean that he kind of stayed with the first one, maybe a little bit too long, but at the same time, he did have it build the whole time, so it wasn't like static. It was dynamic with the horns and the bass coming in and out, very soulful. And the second beat was just stupid drums, so I gave Kel a 9. And then Special Berries, definitely a different vibe. I like the cool Middle Eastern joint on the second one, but the drums, like, it's kind of getting into that area where you want to be freehand and kind of loose with it, but you're stepping over the line of being loose but messy. You know what I mean? And you can kind of tell. So I gave him a 4 on that one.
Can you hear me, Sean? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Run it down, Tone. Start with Complex for us.
All right, with Complex, I gave 6. The drums were pretty nice and everything. I did enjoy that and everything. And then with Gold Rush came in with that first song, which just was a straight banger. And it was nice to hear that the first 2, that was real nice. So Gold Rush, I gave a 7. With Kelsey, it's always nice to hear Kelsey do his thing. For me, it sounds more like everyone says, L did a little long. It was more or less because it sounded like song mode. It's like he's preparing for the production side of doing songs, actually. So right now, it's like the battle side is like maybe it needs to have more competition, like what's actually going to happen. So we're probably going to get more from Kelsey coming up. But I gave Kelsey always that 8. And then with Special, with like everyone was saying, with the drums needed to be a little looser because I kept hearing the quantizing in the drums, and then it was like, you're losing me on that because the sounds, they was being melodic, but then that quantized drum just threw it off at times. So it's just, he just needs to loosen up with the drums, but overall gave him a 6.
All right, that's what's up. So like I said, that was the first 4. I'm gonna get right back into the next 4. Up next is gonna be Verse, Coupe de Ville, Soul City, and then Soundtrack.
Brother
All right, that was Coop. Up next, Soul City.
We came from a distant land. Though years past remains from more. Though years past, though years past remains from more. Though years past. Though years past remains from more. Though years past. Though years past, I say good.
All right, that was Soul City. Last but not least, soundtrack. All right, that's what's up, man. So that's the end of round one. That last one right there was soundtrack. Judges, how you feeling? Still with me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's do this, man. Let's start this time with Sean J. Period this time. Sean,
All right.
give us the rundown,
Okay.
man. First was Verse, and then we had Coupe de Ville, Soul City, and then soundtrack was last.
Okay. All right. So this one definitely was a lot more competitive. Verse, he just great sample choices, like just amazing. So I gave Verse an 8. Coupe de Ville, always loved Coupe. We know that he started out as a live musician and he's coming back to hip hop. Love his musicality. The second beat, I looked at Jay Clyde and we kind of had the same reaction. It was just like a fun beat that we would really do for something like ourselves. Not necessarily sell it. It could be a commercial or something like that, but it just made you feel good. You know what I mean? So Coupe de Ville actually give a 7. And then Soul Cities, we had grown to love a certain style that Soul City brings forward, and he's actually changing up his style now, doing a lot more diverse, things or just offshoots of what he did. His third beat was just crazy, man. So I give him an 8. And then we have soundtracks. You could tell, like, just again, musicality, but just his choices, his sound choices are crazy. So actually give soundtracks a 9.
Okay, so yeah, your man Verse, man. I thought it was dope. And love his drums. Sample selection was dope. Actually gave Verse a 7. Coupe de Ville. Yo, that first thing that you was playing with that go-go, what was that, like a little interlude or something? That was about to be so fire. You should have made a whole beat out of that.
For sure.
Right? That shit was amazing.
Exactly.
I like his beats, man. I mean, I've been listening to his some of his beats since some of the beginning battles, and he's definitely has his own flavor, has his own style. He's getting there. I gave him a 7. Soul City, definitely one of my favorites, man. It's not really much I can say about Soul City, man. His beats are always tight to me. I gave him an 8. Samples dope, drums always crazy. Fucking with him totally. But your man, soundtrack, boy. Samples on point, drums and bananas. I gave that kid a 9. I was definitely fucking with that, for real.
Yeah, they brought the heat on this half of the battle for sure. Verse, very impressive set, man. I was really impressed with what you played. First beat was banging soul. Second beat, real nice chops and programming was really dope. And that was probably my favorite beat that I've heard from you so far, like throughout all the battles. And the third one is a real nice flip on a sample that I'm familiar with that I've used before. So I can really see what you did there. I gave Verse an 8. Coupe de Ville, I don't know. That first go-go joint, probably should have let that play a little longer. And that third one, Sean did mention, it was something about, man, the sounds were so corny and just bad, but the way you put it together, it just felt good. And like, I guarantee, like, if you gave Nori the Pepsi challenge and told him that was a Neptune's beat, he'll do something crazy with it. So yeah, just keep exploring that feeling, man, because that's a real talent, taking whack sounds and making dope beats out of it. So I gave Coupe a 7 for that. Soul City, I thought, had the best set of the day so far. The first beat with the Zulema sample, really nice flip, and so difficult not to use the piano, which you didn't do. Second beat, real soulful. Third beat, crazy flip on that Dilla joint. And then that fourth beat was just murder. So because he had the best set, I gave him a 10. And but then soundtrack came along, and I almost had to revise what I put there. That second beat was so fire. It was like West Coast soul, like you mixed it together, so dope. And third beat, bass line's the same. I mean, in the last beat was like super interesting. It was like a couple different rhythms going back and forth with a real sick bass line. So if I could give a 9.5, I would, but we're not doing fractions, so we'll just say a 9 for that one. But really impressive.
All right, there you go. All right, with Verbs, man, Verbs came off real funky. And like I said, with the second track with the samples up in there, and then with that third track that he had was like, wow, yo, it was like headbanger. So I gave Verbs overall a 7. And then with Coupe de Ville, yo, Uptown is kicking it. Like, Coupe came in with that intro, and of course it's Go-Go. I'm gonna lose my mind anyway. So he already had me right there, the intro, and then he just teased you. Did you like some old Jay-Z type track and everything? Just like, never mind. I'll get to that later. Ski, you know what I'm talking about. So I gave Coupe an 8. So now we're gonna go down to the funk master himself, Mr. Ponytail Soul City. Yes, you got named a year ago as Ponytail Soul because the way he make your head nod. And yo, that first track that he actually did, it was like, wow, you could tell, like Sean said, you could tell Soul City is doing something different. He's doing something different, and he used the samples very nicely. And in that second one, the chops on that joint was like, ooh, my goodness. Like, I wanted to hear the track a little bit more because it sounded dirty and a little grimy and everything. It's like, come on, push that joint, push that. But then that third track that he had, the samples was just so clean the way he did that one. So overall, Soul City gets an 8 from me. And then, oh my gosh, what was that on soundtrack? Oh, where the hell he come from? Good Lord have mercy. Slim, like, I mean, the first track was just straight banging and everything. And then when that second track came in there, man, all I saw myself was like Willie Dynamite in my pimped out outfit, talk about this is my theme song. This is Lamb, it's Lamb, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on now, but y'all want to mess with me and everything because we got that music to go behind it. But then the third track, it was like so full. It was like, dude, how are you making a full track be in a beat battle and making sense of it? So it was like, okay, cool. So he overall gets a 9 for me right there.
All right, that's what's up. So soundtrack got straight 9s. He got the higher score in round 1. So let me just run down the scores real quick. All right, Complex got a total of 24. Gold Rush got 27. Kelsey got 34. Special Berries got 22. Verse got 30. Coupe de Ville 29. Soul City 34. And Soundtrack 36. So what's going to happen in round 2 is that the highest score is going up against the lowest score. All right. So give me 7 minutes to put round 2 together real quick. I'm gonna play a couple tracks from my man Choppy Chop, and then we'll be right back. The matches for round 2 based on scores is going to be Soundtrack versus Special Berries, Soul City versus Complex, Kelsey versus Gold Rush, and Coop versus Verse. In round 2, this is where eliminations start actually, all right? So judges, in this round, all you gotta do is choose 1 or 2. That's it, A or B. There's no scoring, no nothing. Just choose who you want to advance to round 3. First battle is Kelsey versus Gold Rush. Gold Rush is going first.
Are they playing like 2 minutes or is it?
So in this one, they're playing 3 60-second beats. And it's not gonna be back to back, so it'll be the first guy, second guy. First guy, second guy. All right, here we go. All right, that first match right there was Kelsey versus Gold Rush. Up next is Soul City versus Complex. I just wanted to say too that Complex hit me up and he told me that he doesn't use any samples. Complex is royalty free only. All right, here we go. right, so that was Soul City versus Complex. Up next, Special Berries versus Soundtrack. All right, so that was Special Berries versus Soundtracks. Last but not least is Verse versus Coop. All right. So judges, what happened there with Verse versus Coop is that Coop forgot to send in some more beats. So basically, Verse just gets a free pass right there. Unless that one beat by Coop beats Verse. But I need deliberations on soundtracks versus Special Berries, Kelsey versus Gold Rush, and Soul City versus Complex. Let's start with Jay Clyde this time.
All right, Gold Rush and Kelsey. You know what, man? This was really a much closer battle than I thought it was going to be. Gold Rush really was impressive to me in this one. You know, came out with a real dynamic, dope track, really good energy. And his second beat was really like, I was like, man, this guy was like sandbagging in the first round, trying to pull one over on us, man. But the second one he played, I was like, where was that the first round? Yeah, so he really impressed me. Kel, we know what Kel's going to do, and he got saved by the bell on this one because I think Gold Rush was right there, but then that last beat that Kel played put him over the top. That was murder. So I just by a slim edge gave it to Kelsey.
Yeah, that was definitely a close one, man. Like Clyde said, man, Gold Rush, he was right there. He was right there. But Kelsey, man, that last one, man, that shit was fucking fire. Kelsey got it. I gave it to Kelsey.
Yo, just like everybody's saying, man, Gold Rush, goodness gracious. 49ers, man, I tell you. I sat back and said, with that particular round was real close and everything. And just like I said, you let Kelsey get to the later rounds, he just gonna bang your head all day. And like I said, with Kelsey pulled that one out right there in that particular round. And I'm just glad to hear great sounds of Gold Rush. Like I said, that was pretty impressive.
So agreeing with everyone, Gold Rush definitely say the first round he was kind of playing with it, but this one he definitely came out. The thing was great about it, he brings diversity to the beat scene as a whole, the circuit. Definitely keep going. Obviously Kelsey, we know what Kelsey does. The slow beat, we've never heard you do something like that, like West Side type stuff, And so we're going to give it to Kelsey, but Gold Rush, definitely keep going, man. Definitely don't leave the circuit, getting out here, putting your stuff out here. We definitely enjoyed it.
All right, that's what's up. So Kelsey wins that one unanimous. The next one was Special Berries versus Soundtrack. Let's just stay with you, Sean.
Special Berry. I think it was interesting. It got more interesting. Like I actually like some of his sound choices, far as on the top line stuff. The drums, I feel you still have to work on, and there's a difference between like going off beat and coming back. Like when you program it, just sometimes you can't catch the beat back. I mean, it takes a skill to go off, and then right before your mind is thinking it's really off, you come back. Like, just if you're gonna do offbeat style, listen to the Dillas and all, a lot of the lo-fi guys and all those guys. Like, just learn how to bring it back before you lose the actual rhythm, so your head comes back with the beat. And as far as soundtrack, I mean, he's just coming from all over. Just like, just I mean, super dope, and I know he's out from the West Coast too, so it's good to have a West Coast brother involved in this. We all tend to get a lot of East Coast guys, or maybe some Midwest guys and stuff like that, but definitely enjoy your musicality, and I'm gonna give that one to Soundtrack.
Special Berry, Soundtrack, and Special Berry, man, okay, that was a close one with me. And like you said, Sean, with that being that West Side sound, man, I mean, it was refreshing to sit back and hear that, because it was smooth, and it's like you might want to just start rhyming to that joint. So, and then with Special Berry, he brought like some different type of sounds with the drums. I was like, okay, it's a different type of flavor with that type of joint. I was like, okay, and the way he was playing it, okay, nice and everything. Yet I do have to go with Soundtrack, who actually pulled it out, because like I said, everything that he was actually playing it just reminded me of like that West Coast sound, which I do enjoy at times, and it gave us over here a good feeling. So I'm going with soundtrack for that one.
Special Berries and soundtrack, huh? Woo! Man, listen. I don't even know what to say, man, because, I mean, Special Berries was cool. I wasn't mad at him, you know what I'm saying? But soundtrack, he's like on a whole nother atmosphere with it, kid. His shit is just hot. Everything he played was just hot. No offense to Special Berries, but he wasn't ready for that kid. Soundtrack.
Yeah, there's not much I can really add to what the brothers have said already. I gave that one the soundtrack. The Computer Love flip was just ignorant. So,
What was that?
The second, his second beat, the bass is just booming. And I realized halfway through this battle that I really want to see soundtrack stick around for other battles to see if he matches up with Feel Real at some point.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's what's up. So
That's a good one.
unanimous on that one, soundtracks. And the last battle of that round was Soul City versus Complex. And let's just start with you, Jay Clive.
All right. Let's see. This one I gave to Soul City. Came out with this like the sick chops, great synth work. And the second one, even though I hated the little double snare thing, he still made it a banger. The third one, the bass line is just disgusting. I wrote wow. The Complex though, I like, what I really like about you, this is the first time I'm hearing you, I think, and like you have a real dark, sinister energy. Keep going with that, man, because it's like, especially for battles, it's great. Like it'll work for you. So keep staying in that mode and experimenting with that energy. But Soul City.
Man, you know what? I'm a Soul City fan, man. Not trying to be biased, but his drum game is crazy. Even the double snare, he did it with the double snare. And I love synths, man. And don't get me wrong, Complex is tight. You know what I mean? But Soul City's another type of animal out here, so I'm gonna have to give it to that boy.
Soul City and Complex. This was a good one as well. Like I said, with Soul City, man, it's a head nod. He just keeps your head banging and everything with everything that he was doing. And just like what Jay Clyde said with that second one, with that double and everything, and make you like, ah. But at the same time, you sit back and be like, oh, catch it. It like takes a quick second to like, it's off a second, but it's like you got to catch up and everything. So it's like, just like Clyde was saying. But then like the third one, he just made up for it. But with Complex came out and did some really, really nice joints and everything. Yet with this one, Soul City and the ponytail comes out.
All right, Sean J. Period.
All right, so Complex, definitely like his sound choices. Agree with Clyde, like that sinister. Just it's a vibe, you know what I mean? And definitely, go down the road and just, definitely like your sound choices. But your Soul City is the beat that me got was the third beat. You know what I mean? It was the best beat of the day, and it's just. It's the musicality, like where you were going with those synths, man. I'm like, just wanted to listen and just like, so I definitely say Soul City got it, Congratulations on that.
That's what's up. So the winners of round 2 are soundtracks, Soul City, Kelsey, and Verse. All right, so those are the 4 that are going to round 3. In round 3 is something different this time, all right? In round 3, they're going up against Theory Beats. Theory Beats was our second annual champion, and he's won a number of BeatKonductaz battles over the past 9 years. All right, so he's our top tier guy. So all 4 of these guys have to go up against Theory Beats. So judges, again, same thing. We're just looking for 2 people to advance to round 4. All right, if they can't do better than the Theory Beat, they can't advance. That's what it comes down to. All right, so everyone's going up against theory right now. Here we go. I got it all laid out too, so we're gonna get right into it.
Come on.
right, that was Birds versus Theory. Up next is Kelsey.
We had a good thing lately. Good thing.
All right, so that right there was Kelsey versus Theory. All right, up next is Soundtrack versus Theory. All right, last one, Soul City versus Theory. All right, that's it, man. That was round 3. All right, so just to be clear, in that round, all 4 of the finalists played against Theory Beats. So judges, all we need to know really, just, you know, give us our feedback too. Let us know who you like, who you don't like, whatever. But basically from this point on, we just need to know which 2 are going to advance to the finals. And let's start with Tony Smith this time. Tone, I think you're on mute, man.
On you, Tony. It's on you, Tony.
Nah, I'll go third.
I'll go ahead. So what I'll do is, I mean, obviously, Theory, we already know. You know, he's dope, and he's the one battling everybody for a reason. So I'll just give feedback on the challengers, and then I'll tell you who I have moving on, if that's cool. So with verse, you had some interesting sample choices, and the beats are good. Just as you move forward and do more of these battles, I stress this all the time, but be mindful of the energy that you're bringing. I know it's really difficult in this situation because you can't see what your opponent's playing. You got to pick stuff in advance. So just assume that the person you're going against played the most disgusting beat you ever heard, and now you got to come back with it. So don't play like some sad, like low energy beat, because it's not gonna. You're fighting with music. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. With the Kelsey battle, I mean, we know what Kelsey does. Great mixes on these as always. Soundtrack, the second beat was really the one that was really slapping for sure. Dark energy, big bass, and then Soul City had probably the best battle beat of the day with his second beat, with the just really dope synth bass and like progression, bringing the horns in and kind of building as the beat went. So if you're looking, like I was just commenting on Versus energy, if you're really looking for like the energy that we're looking for in terms of battle beats, that's what I'm looking for. So moving on to the final, I've got Soundtrack and Soul City.
All right, that's what's up, man.
I'm just gonna go right to the finals, man. I definitely got Soundtrack. I got Soundtrack and Kelsey, actually, if you ask me.
Man, okay. Well, with verse, I definitely gotta go with Clyde on that one. It's a battle. The tempo, don't slow the tempos down because it's almost at the song mode, and it's the wrong time to sit back and bring song mode at the final battle that we at right now. But yeah, overall, like I do like the quality of the music and the sounds and everything, but yet it's not for the battle. So, but still dope. Kelsey, I don't need to say anything about that one. Soundtracks, good Lord. Man, oh man. The soulfulness of the first track that he played, and then that second track with those drums and then like that bass. Wow, yo. And with Soul City, yo, like I just like the melodic melodies that Soul City has up in his stuff. So for me, I would like to see one. You already know it's gonna be Kelsey. First of all, yeah, I'm gonna go with Soul City.
Ah, wow. Okay, so it's the verse. We definitely. I mean, to me, you pick some of the best soul samples, man. I mean, stuff that you're not necessarily even like, not the obvious stuff. You know what I mean? And the way you use voices, and I agree with Clyde and the rest of the fellas, you're just energy. You know what I mean? It's just real. It's not, you come into battle. You come into, a battle that has to do with conflict, and the beats are not conflict. You know what I mean? They just sound good, make you feel good, but Kelsey, I'm impressed. I've been around you for a while, and you continue to keep striving and doing, different stuff. I definitely like your beats from the second round better. So in Soundtrack, new to this particular group, but you know what I mean, you're just killing it. So I'm definitely gonna say soundtrack is one of my people to go forward. And then I'll let you know my other Soul City. Super impressed with your, you know, melodic sounds and stuff like that. And I'm debating now between obviously Kelsey and Soul City. Prior to going into this round, I actually had Soul City but then I'm looking at the beats that he played during this one. It's like I'm torn, you know what I mean? But I'm actually
say it, Sean.
Hey,
It all comes down to this, Sean.
So it's gonna be the soundtrack and Soul City. That's what I'm gonna say.
Welcome back to the BeatKonductaz. This is the 08-08-2020 battle, A Little Louder. We're into round 4, man. We started out with 8 competitors, and then we had 4 rounds. In round 3, they had to go up against our one of our annual winners, Theory Beats. And so the final 2 are going to be Soundtrack versus Soul City. All right, this is round 4. Judges, you ready? Here we go. That's the final round 4. That was Soul City versus Soundtrack. I want to first just give a big shout out to all of the competitors that were in this battle. It takes a lot of heart to actually put yourself out there. I want to next give a big shout out to all of our judges in the judges panel over here. Sean J. Period, Jay Clyde, Ski Beats, and Tony Smith of the James Duet Yancey Foundation. So, judges, let's talk, man. One of these guys, I didn't even talk about the prize or anything. So, one of these guys is taking home an Allen Heath 32-channel mixer. It was too big for this table that we have here. I couldn't even put it out in front of us. But it's a nice Allen Heath 32-channel mixer for their studio. They also get a free seat in our next battle, as well as get a free seat in our annual Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. All right, so let's go. Let's start with Ski this time. Ski.
Man, this is like the toughest one to judge right here, boy. Because both those brothers is playing some bangers. Damn. Man, I like both of them, man. I mean, can we have a tie?
Man,
what's 32 times divided by 2? Give them 16 channel mixers each.
Yeah, they didn't.
Fuck.
That's all they sent in, so they don't have any other beats. There's no tiebreakers.
Man, no tiebreakers either? Wow.
32 channels.
Well, if you can hear me, I'm going to go with, shit. Dude. The fuck? All right. If I gotta choose, I'm gonna say I gotta choose Love Soul City, man. But that Soundtrack kid, he got this sound is fucking with me right now. Fuck with that Soundtrack. That's what I'm saying. I'm out.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the past like 5 minutes, 1 minute it's Soundtrack, the next minute it's Soul City. For sure, if we were doing this live, this would be like overtime, double overtime, triple overtime. Really, just because I can't get enough of either of these sounds that they brought today. I think just barely, I'm gonna go with Soundtrack, but I'm gonna tell you why. Now, like all 4 beats were really, really dope. But Soundtrack, that first beat, the drum work was insane. Like, we're gonna go super nerdy technical here because that's how like close it is. So like the drum work on that was really special. Soul City, that first joint you played, I love like the synth patch that was running through the entire thing. Really dope bass as always. The second Soundtrack beat, to me, like, it wasn't even like a battle beat, but it was so dope. Like, dude, like if you can get that, if you can play that for J. Cole, that's a check. That's gonna be a check for you. All right, that should be on somebody's album right now.
Wow.
So that kind of put it over the top for me. Although Soul City's last joint, that was a serious battle banger, and like took me back to like raucous days, and especially once the ARPs kicked in, and it was just sick. But man, I had to get a slight edge to Soundtrack on that one.
There we go. Yo, I'm for the ponytail. Soul City. Period.
All right, that's what's up, man. Sean, it comes down to you, man.
Yeah. Wow. The one thing, and I'm kind of, because it was super hard. I mean, obviously having them going up against each other is the perfect ending to it, because their styles really, they're different, but they also complement each other. So we're listening to apples and apples, I would say that Soundtrack's first beat, the way it kept building. And before we thought, okay, all right, it's there. And then you went and added another layer, like a voice would come on it or something. Like, it just kept going and going, So I would say that Soul City, super impressed with your diversity, how you changed. The thing that we have grown to love about you, you actually have departed from. And it's awesome when you could have something that's successful for you and then be willing to break it and go somewhere else, but clearly your musicality, I'm more impressed with your musicality than I ever was. Just you actually can play, your synth work and everything. I'm actually going to have to go with Soundtrack on this. He was consistent every single beat he played today. So I'm going to go with Soundtrack.
That's what's up, man. So there you go. Soundtrack is our winner. Little Louder, 0808 2020. All the way in the West Coast. I don't know how I'm going to ship this big-ass mixer to you, man. So we got to figure that out. I'm going to call you tonight. But again, shout out to all of our judges. Ski Beats, Sean J. Period, Jay Clyde, and Tony Smith.
Yep.
I just want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time. And shout out to everybody on Instagram Live. I just want to say shout out to DJ Honcho, CC, and Mark. Again, my name is DJ Olo. It's the BeatKonductaz. Peace.